Alright boys and girls, and welcome back to another building video. This time we're coming back with everybody's favorite footprint, the old 2x2. Now this is a base that would not actually have been made if it wasn't thanks to Mr. Spiicy Rust. We decided to do a little collaboration on a wipe, and I cooked this up with his preferences in mind. And it ended up working out so well for us that I just had to share it with you all. So introducing the man himself.
I needed a base with a simple 2x2 starter and plenty of storage and online defense. I also needed great tower angles just in case my teammates think they can sleep. Oh god, call the boys. This base has no build-outs that can be done with no externals, so it's cheap and perfect for me. This performed great in my wipe, and I'm sure it will for you too.
I'm gonna have Spice linked in the description so you guys can check out the movie we made in this bad boy base. And let's get down into the tour so I can show you guys some of the best features of this simple Snowball build. And we're in with the tour of the Icer. This base can have any amount of externals, all the way up to 4. They are all optional, and you could have technically 0 externals on this base if you wanted to, but I've opted for 4 freehands here just to reduce the upkeep of the compound and help claim my build spot fully. But of course you could go for 0 if you want. That's how you disconnect the TC. Simple build out, and that disconnects our freehand there, nice and easy. And of course if you don't like the freehands, this can be swapped out with any kind of external, not a big deal at all. But we have 4 ways into our compound, and it's a pretty standard simple gatehouse here. We have beds deeper into the compound, so that's why I've just opted for the solar panels here. And honestly, they work even better with beds. If you have some unforgivable terrain, some bumpy cliffs, these solar panels help you adjust your height level according to where you need to be looking. So it's actually much better off that way. But yeah, good little angles throughout the compound there, and of course that opens up more when the furnaces and high walls are gone, and we do expect those to be gone in an online raid defense scenario. 4 turrets, 1 above each gatehouse, and a bit of chain link to protect them as people come in. You can see those deeper bedrooms now with the Patricos there, watching into compound, super nice, and you got some spots for furnaces here. Opted for a slightly less of a meta compound here, just to kind of appeal to players who maybe don't like to spend that much on compound. And of course we're going for a simpler kind of snowball base here, as opposed for a monthly kind of main, where you might benefit from such a powerful compound. But these are the sneaky beds here, and they make little funneled doors, and they give great Patricos around and throughout the compound. Then up in our shell here, we have some great breach peak angles, watching around into compound, and of course when this garage door is open, you can see if anybody's hanging about down there. Lots of great opportunities for shotgun traps here, as you can see, and that'll stop anyone moving around the shell with ease, which is super nice. If you like building and you're looking to improve, my Discord is a wonderful place to be. We've got multiple great builders, including me, to answer any questions that you may have, an extensive moderator team, and if it's my building style that you like and you don't want your base layout to be visible on YouTube, then you can open a ticket and look into getting your own custom base design for your own personal use. Cheers lads, let's go on with the tour. Again, another bedroom here. 2 out of the 4 bedrooms do have ladder hatch chutes as well. There's the option to go straight up to shooting floor from there if you throw down a couple of ladders and a hatch at the top, and you can do that. There's only 1 way into the main base, apart from those 2 chutes I just mentioned. Simple jump up here to allow the honeycombing on the 2x2. And for second floor, we've got a lot of storage here. You can wrap it around with some boxes, and this is pretty much how we had it set up in our actual wipe as well. Had some electric furnaces through the center there too. Wrapping around to a stair bunker here, and that stair bunker breaks from inside core. Once it's broken, you can drop down and head through the normal 2x2 starter. Nice, cool little 2x2 starter here. The only difference really being is that TC's closer on this side, and that just allows for the stair bunker. But apart from that, nothing's pretty different about the 2x2. Good storage in here, and I wouldn't worry about main TC being so close, as the base quickly expands to wrap the door path away from here. So it's really going to make no difference at all. Jumping up though, that's the stair bunker back. That's how you replace it. And our drop down is directly next to our jump up. 3rd floor is looking like this, so we have some unlootable lockers behind the vending machines. Standard bit of tech here just to beef up the raid cost. And a great spot to store some AK kits, of course. You can still shut that door from this side, by the way. Or you might not even need doors there at all. Jumping up here, we have a wonderful retake that looks through to our shooting floor exit. And if you're actually placing a locker on top of a bear rug, you're going to be able to shoot underneath that gap, which is super handy and can come in very helpful in a raid defense. That's a little peek at our shooting floor here. We got some windows going through. And you can see that retake also watches the single door, and of course up onto roof too. Nice airlock to take us out onto shooting floor, so we're certain before we push out. And then you can see the turrets that we have watching throughout shooting floor. We've got Patrico peaks on the corners, and we have a lot of downward angles here too. Standard kind of tacular 2x2 shooting floor here. Very popular base design, so I did want to do my own take on that for Spiicy Rust. You can see we got some retakes back in towards the base from here. Good spot to maybe HV into shooting floor if anyone's in there. And that turret is very multi-purpose. It actually watches up onto roof and throughout our shooting floor, which is very nice indeed. Good bedroom spot there with some more downward angles into our shell. And we have breach peaks off to the side, whilst allowing us to peek up onto roof. Now our way up onto roof is through core, and you can see if we jump up here, that'll take us into the 2x2 above. More box space here, bed space here. The garage doors are strictly for minicopters, and then if you're going to exit by foot, I would come through this airlocked section. However, these two parts here is just to let you get a minicopter come through. Now, I really like how the roof is set up here. You can see that these 4 turrets are actually completely hidden from the inside out. You would never know. They can in fact shoot through that little metal lip, so don't worry about that. The Patricos also lap up onto roof as well, but overall the roof just comes together nice and clean. It's nothing crazy, it's not going to cost a lot, but it's going to give you what you need to defend, and those turrets are really something special. Spots for SAMs and some higher up turrets too. 4 windmills, couple of respawns, and a minicopter garage. It's all you need for a perfect little snowball, and it worked out fantastically on our wipe. Now I'll go ahead and break down the costs and upkeep for this build. Keep in mind that my version in the tour had 5 TCs, however you could build this base with a single TC. First of all on screen is the total build cost, second up is that build cost in box amounts, and lastly is the total upkeep that is spread between 5 TCs, and the main TC is holding the majority of that upkeep. Alright, let's start off with the tutorial now of the Icer. Of course, it's a 2x2 that we start off with, and you're going to double half all that side if you're utilizing the stair bunker. If you wind up not really using it, then just go for normal full wall, or if you're on console as well, you won't be able to have the stair bunker. Just keep that in mind. TC is going to go over here, and you can get the triangle, the stair bunker in there nice and easy too. And the door is over on this side. You may worry that the TC is a little bit close, but don't worry, the way we wrap the door path around very quickly, it's going to be out of sight and out of mind from anyone trying to go early deep. So you'll be completely fine there. It's not going to be a big deal at all. Beside our TC, we have a standard loot room with some ramps on there as well. And we're going nice and slow in this build tutorial because I know it's not the most advanced base. So we're really trying to appeal to basically anyone of any amount of hours with this design. So this will be a nice, simple, quick build to follow. And hopefully nobody will have any trouble at all. No build outs, no externals necessary. Overall just simplistic, but pretty solid design at the same time. So we can wrap around over here for our jump up, as our first floor entrance is actually coming in from the second floor. It's going to elongate our door path early game, and we do need a deployable jump up here. No triangle floor there. If you're utilizing the stair bunker, you'll need to be jumping up with deployables, whether that's the hobo barrel, the furnaces, something along those lines. Now we can wrap up our door path here, and it's going to wrap through the 3 triangles again, making that door path nice and long. And we're not sealing it at the top because we have a jump up above our drop down, so keep that in mind. And then we're just wrapping along here with double door frames, and we can expand into our second floor, which is just loot rooms pretty much. That's the stair bunker tech if you needed that shown to you. Simple, easy. Good to have that bunker nice and early on into the build. Second floor is just a spam of shelves here, and you can throw boxes here, maybe some electric furnaces, set it up however you need in the early game. And then we have a wall to divide down the middle there, splitting up those 2 loot rooms. Wrap it round the back with just some standard full walls. We're not utilizing the triangle honeycombing on this level. And then we have a double door that's going to lead down to our way up. All of this can be floored in, and we have the triangle jump up, remember, above our drop down. And I'm going to add a frame there just to make sure nobody accidentally seals that one in. But if you're feeling a little exposed, you could put a wooden floor there for now. But a double door will seal up that gap perfectly fine and make sure nobody can come in from the top down. It's up to you if you want to play it safe though with a wooden floor. Out the back here, this is where our jump up's going to be. So it's facing where we had that double door, remember? And we add in these 3 triangles, and we just full honeycomb the bottom floor. Just wrapping it in like that. We jump up from the center triangle, and the other two are full honeycombing. We'll cap it off with a double door in front, and again a deployable to jump up. This side here, we don't use that triangle for anything, and then we just wrap the door path through towards the main 2x2. Just like that. Perfect. Once we've done that, we'll go ahead and honeycomb the other sides of the base as well. We do not add 3 triangles on this section, just to be crystal clear. We need to leave out the center triangle. So we're just honeycombing with the first 2. Eventually we will do a little section coming off of there, but to be crystal clear, we don't have that 3rd triangle foundation in the center. That's going to get left out for now. And then we're just honeycombing the bottom floor, making our main loot room nice and safe early on into the build. Now that we've gotten to this point, I'm going to cap off the door here, just so you have some form of roof access in case we do need to do a little bit of roof camping. Sometimes it's allowed. So we'll just seal that up at the top with a double door. There we go, that's perfect. Now we're going to start doing some compound stuff and go towards maybe an external TC if that's something you're hoping to add. Just a simple little shooting floor design here, and it's going to give us a full shell as well on the 2x2. Super nice. Wrapping around just like this, and you'll see I'm going to leave some of these triangles and squares in twig, and that's because we're planning on having an external TC here. I'll go more in depth as we come along with exactly what I mean by that, but for just now we're just wrapping across like this, and we're going to leave these center 3 in twig. Now we're building our gatehouse here for the compound, and from the gatehouse we can go out towards our external TC. This is just a standard gatehouse with some petricos and some good spots for turrets. Overall nice and easy to build, and definitely not too expensive at all. And we add in these roofs here to make sure that the turret has maximum visibility, as opposed to adding in a half walls or something like that to cover the top of the petrico. So it works out really well there. Now, if we wanted to do an external TC, and of course this design offers the option not to, this is how we would do that external, building out with a triangle and 3 squares, and then demolishing the rest. You'll need to link this part up to spread the privilege of main TC, allowing you to demolish. So you can go ahead and just add that in, and now you can see my hammer reaches far enough over here. If we want to place our external, we need to disconnect from over there, or we can also break the 3 twig foundations that we left as well. I'm going to do that in just a moment. But that's our freehanded bunker. If you don't like freehands, just swap it out with a standard external. That's going to work just fine. And then just be careful where you're placing this frame from. If you do struggle with the freehands and you want some help with that, just hop in the cord and I can teach you guys how to do that a little bit more in depth. But it just comes down to practice on this one. Just a technique that you need to learn, and does come in very handy. Now you'll see you're not able to connect this part back to main because of the twig we've left here. So you are going to need to break that twig, and then from there you can link everything back. So now everything's covered and we're good to go. These 2 triangles here will be decaying though until you add the walls on top of them and a wall in the center. Because technically those foundations aren't touching, so you need to go to that stage to connect that all up. And then that's the bedroom built and good to go. We'll finish off this section for now, so that we can go ahead and move on to one of the other 4 sections. We add in the frames for shooting floor, and this roof is to cover our head when we're inside the bedroom, keeping us a little bit safer. Adding in 2 frames here, and this leads into the shell. And then this half wall window part is going to be part of a breach peak later on. And that all links up just like that. Perfect. Once you've done that part, we can go ahead and do exactly what we just did over on the opposite side of the base. And it's just going to be the same thing again, and I'll be with you guys when you're caught up on that. However, on this option, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys what to do if you don't want to add an external. For this one, I will be upgrading the twig, so just keep that in mind. From here on out, I won't be showing any external TCs. So if you do want to go for 4 or 2 externals, you'll need to copy what was originally done before. Alright, now that we've done both of those, we're going to work on the sides that have the missing triangle. Hopefully you know what I mean by that. We're going to add that triangle in, but it's never getting upgraded. Let's make that super clear. We're going to keep that in twig, and we're going to break it now. Then we do the same build out here to get our little shooting floor part going, and we'll need to link this up to the other two sides in order to connect it to main. Over here we do get an airlock now on our bedroom, and do not add a floor on that. Remember, it's also a chute up to our shooting floor. We can go ahead and upgrade all that, and then this rest of this part is just the same. The only difference there is the little airlock with the chute going to shooting floor. That's the only part where things get different. Same bedrooms on here, with the same petricos as well. And again, I'll be showing this side without an external, but if you do want the external TC, that's already been shown, and it's super easy to swap in and out depending on how you want to go with it. So if we want to connect this part over to main, we need to do our build out for the shell, which is super simple, just like that. These triangles may look like they're connected, however they do require the walls to make a full connection. So make sure you don't stop building too early and then wonder why your base is decaying. We'll do it on both sides as well, even though we technically only need to do one. We're just going to seal it up here so that there's no decay. We can get everything linking together. Then I'll fully build these parts up so we can see exactly what's going on here with the doors into the breach peaks with those half-wall windows. And you can have those triangle roofs there just to stand on, and that'll give us our angles. Finish it off with some floors and a frame in the center to provide a little bit more stability to the frames we'll raise up later on for shooting floor. And then it's the exact same thing on this left side over here. And there we go. Once you've done that, we're going to need to bring this area over to a gatehouse. You can see that I've still left these as twig, but I'm choosing to upgrade them now as I'm not going to be adding external TC on this end. But if you were planning on adding external, you'll remember that you would need to break it out and leave it looking like this. So hopefully that makes sense to you guys. And we'll just add the same gatehouse that we've done before 2 times already. And I'll be with you guys when you're all caught up in that. Now that that's done, we're moving over to the opposite end of the base, and it's going to be the exact same thing that we just did on the other side. This base is pretty much 4 sides symmetrical, with a little difference on 2 of the sides. So it's super simple to learn, as you only really need to learn 1/4 of the base inside your head, and then you could build the entire base in theory. So that's what I like about this one, but I'll be with you guys once you're all caught up on here. Once you've built all 4 of the gatehouses, you can throw down your high walls. Now there's no specific placement for these. We don't need a meta compound here. It's going to be a 3 high wall gap. Depending on terrain, it can change, but pretty much just seal it up. You can demolish high walls now, so there's no difficulty here, but the placement does not need to be exact on those. You can just throw them down, and as long as they seal up, then that's all you need. And then we throw down some low walls and some barricades. Back up on the 3rd floor now, we're going to honeycomb the 2nd floor, and we can add triangles in here as well. Just wrapping in these walls to honeycomb the 2nd floor. And then that's already been done on the other 2 sides. Over on the 3 triangle sections, we do a half wall, low wall, and that's going to allow us to place some extra things in shooting floor. So make sure you do that and do not forget. After that, the rest of this floor is just going to get walled in nice and normally. Even in the middle here in front of that half wall, low wall, everything stays nice and simple. We still don't use the combing on this level. On 3rd floor, remember we do have some vending machines, so just be careful where you're putting the full walls. The vending machines are going to be on the door side of the base. Even I almost got confused there, so you need to honeycomb there, and then add in those single doors right in front. And then since this is some tricky deployable placement, I'll show you guys how this one works. Place your lockers in, and then go ahead and make sure you code lock them. That placement can sometimes be annoying. Get some code locks on these, and then you can throw that vending machine in front and a door. Having that door swing out the way and this one swing in the way. Then the vending machine goes in front, pulling back just a tad to make sure we can still access the locker. And this one is all just about the practice. Place something inside the vending machine so it's not giving you a rotate option, and then you can see we've got that locker in there. Perfect. Same thing on this side here. And there we go, we can access both of our lockers through the vending machine. Very handy indeed. You just shut the door from this end. There we go. Now the rest of this floor is going to provide some loot space, and then it's going to be a jump up with a retake to the next floor. Next floor up is going to be shooting floor, so get prepped for that. That's our loot room there. We're going to add in a ramp here with a low wall, just for some extra boxes. And you do need to metal that to place the ramp after, or to place the low wall after. And then that side over there is just standard. Single door here now for a little retake. And then we can wrap the triangles on top of our combing and start working on our exit out into the shooting floor. There we go. Adding in all our floors. And then just start wrapping around. We have our jump up above our drop down again, so it's going like this, making sure you don't seal it up. And then we add in some walls and an airlock out to our shooting floor with some windows in between. You'll see that the single door out of shooting floor lines up with the retake, so the 2 single doors are watching each other. And there you go. We'll go all the way up to roof height now, because I feel like that's easier to play with. Adding in the minicopter garage with the 2 garage doors in front of each other, windows in between, and then the airlock for players to exit the base from. There we go. You can upgrade all of that, super simple. Now we're going to go ahead and raise some frames up for our shooting floor. We'll start by working on the bedrooms that have the airlocks, and we're going to take them all the way to that 2-level height, raising up a little tube where we can add some ladders. Over on this side, where there's no airlock, it's even simpler, just straight frames going up to the 2nd level. Now that that's done, we can work on the corner sides here, raising up frames, only a height level of 1, and then we're going to add half walls on top. And we can do that on all 4 of the corners, and then we match up normal frames to the height of 2 in front of those. You do that on all 4 sides. And down in front in the middle here, we just do simple frames with a half wall in the middle, raising all the way up around the front of the base like that. And that's going to happen on all 4 sides, nice and simple. Once we've done that, we can work on the shooting floor now. We have frames here so that we can add roofs on top of those, but still look underneath. We add a layer of half walls above our chute, and then cap it off with a triangle ladder hatch. Once you've done that, you can add in sections over here for our additional bedroom tower that comes through off the shooting floor, and then that gets framed off as well. Square in the center, and then it's back over here doing the same thing again. We don't have a chute on this one, but we're still going to wrap it in half walls. And if you find yourself unable to add half walls up here, it's because you forgot the low wall underneath. It's not a massive deal. You can just leave out those half walls and add a floor on top. But ideally, we want to have it seamless. But if you can't do that, it's okay. Once you've done all of that on the squares, we can add in our petricos, and those are super simple just like that. Adding in the window frames, a triangle going through, nice and easy. Over in the center, we're going to match up with the half walls here, adding windows on the left and right with a double door in the middle. Then we can add a wall in front of that and wrap windows on the rest of the bedroom. Then we can add in 2 triangle roofs, and they do need to be opposite materials. So you can see that they divide down the middle, and you have angles underneath those and angles in front. Add in a couple extra frames, cap it off, and that's it done. And we'll do that in the remaining 3 sides. I'll be with you guys when you're all caught up. And once you've done that, you can come up on roof and just add a whole wrap of squares across the shooting floor, healing everything up and leaving no gaps. Perfect, and once you've done that, we'll throw some low walls in front of each of our bedroom sections here, giving us some great angles up onto roof, and of course allowing that sneaky turret to see on roof as well. Once you've done that, we're going to add in the petricos on every corner again, starting off with the frame here first because it's easier to access. And then we can low wall the top of this so that we can cover our head. And we full seal this square in as well. We can place some beds in there, they're a little bit safer. And then just do that on the remaining sides. Once all the corners are done, we can come above our little roof peak and add in some more windows, wrap around some frames for a turret windmill on top, and then a wall in the center. On these roofs, we want to pick an option that does have an overhang, obviously not the stone one though, so armored or metal. Armored does give the best, armored is the best one for hiding the turrets though, so you could use that one if you've got spare high wall. And if you throw a silencer on those turrets, it could be even more broken. Then we just build a little windmill tower on top with a spot for a turret underneath as well. Last thing to do to cap off our roof is to add in 2 squares on each side, just like this, making sure they're the same grade so that they do cover the gaps. Then you can throw some windmills down on your windmill spots, and once you've done that, that completes the base design. Hopefully you boys and girls have enjoyed this video, and if you did, then please feel free to leave me a like and drop me a comment down below. Remember to check out the Discord if you want to cop a custom, or if you just need any help at all. This base is an absolute bang, and I hope to see you out there on some servers. And I'll see you boys and girls in the next video. See you in a bit.